Hi, you are welcome again, and we are continuing again with the um, solving of the um, Information and Communication Technology IGCSE Cambridge paper, May-June 2024. In my previous video, we looked at the document production. And in this video, we are going to be looking at the database. We'll solve the database in this video. Okay, so if you want the solution on the document production, kindly check on my previous video. So we are looking at task 3, which is the word database. Okay, it says you are now going to prepare a report. Dates are to be imported in the format day, month, and year. Use database software. So question 11, we are looking at the database. So it says use database software to import the file J2421 chart.csv as a new table. Use these field names and data types. Okay. So what you are basically doing over here, okay, is that we are going to be importing this table. Do you understand that? We are going to be importing this table, and that is the file child.csv. So let's go and then learn how to do that. So you should be in your source files. Then you should open your source files. So right in your source files, just right click, go to new, and then choose Microsoft Access Database, the one at the top. Okay, this. Then we've not been instructed to give it any special name. Okay, so we just give it our own name. So I'll say James data. Okay. So once this is saved, I open this and then I click on enable content. So now we are going to import our first data or our first table. So in the menu tab at the top here, go to external data. Then at the beginning feature, go to new source data, then from file, then come all the way down to text files. Okay, it opens this page for you. Then now we need to navigate through our directories to add the path of our file they said we should upload. So click on browse. Then I know my folder is on the desktop, my source file folder. So I click on desktop. Then I look for source files. So these source files. And then they said I should import child.csv. So you can click on once and click on open or double click to add it to the path. So you see it has been added to the path. Then make sure this is selected. Import the source data into a new table in the current database. Do you understand? Make sure you select that. Then click on OK. Now make sure your data is a readable data. If you are getting some kind of symbols, then you should call on your technician, but make sure it's a readable data. Then click on next. Then you don't want to forget this. Make sure you select first row contain field names. So you select this, you check this box. First row contain field names, so it can select this for you. Then you go to next. Then over here, we've been given some data types that our field should satisfy. Okay. So in the database, you click on advanced to set these data types. Now, over here, it says last name is what? Test. First name is test. In the database, you don't really see test. Rather, you see long test and then short test. So when you see test over here, you are supposed to select what? Short test. Okay. Now, short test can contain about 255 characters. And so if you are sure last name or whatever data you'll be getting from the user wouldn't be more than 255 characters, then it is just right for you to what? To select the short test. So over here, last name is short test, that is fine. First name is short test, that is fine. Child ID is short test, that is fine. Gender is short test, that is fine. Then date of birth and then registration reg dates are all dates and time. You understand? So date of birth is date with time, that is fine. Reg date is date with time, that is fine. Then food allergy. They said food allergy should be a Boolean or logical, and it should be displayed as what? Yes or no. So that is where we'll work. And over here, food allergy is long integer. So let's click on it and change the long integer to what? To yes or no. Okay. Then contact name is test, relationship is test, and contact number is also what? Test. So contact name is short test, that is fine. Relationship is also short test, that is fine. But contact is long integer. So we change the contact to what? To short test, like this. Once we are done, we click OK, and then we click next. So over here in the question, it says that what? Set child ID as the what? As the primary key and save your data. So in our database, the first option here says, let access add a primary key. That's not what we want. We want to choose our own primary key. So you click on choose my own primary key and change the last name to what? To child ID. Okay. And then go to next. Then finish. And then close. Now, if you have two tables, then you've done something wrong somewhere as you were importing, and that will affect your work going forward. So the right thing is to just delete it and then import new one again and make sure everything is right. Now, open this. Now, even though as we were importing, okay, we've gone through the data types to select the right data types. It is just in the right order that after uploading your work or after uploading or importing your database table, the data, you should go back to the data types again and set everything right again. Now look at this field, food allergy. Food allergy was supposed to display as yes or no from the question. You see, display as yes or no. But over here, it is displaying as what? As how do you call it? As a checkbox. So we need to correct all of those stuffs. So click on home, then click on the design view. So you should be here. You should be in the design view here. Then last name is short test. That is fine. Then short test. So the date of birth is date or time. Click on the date or time. Come to the bottom to click on format. The arrow down, select what? Short time. This. Do same for the registration date too. Short time. And then click what? Save. If you can't find save at the top here, just click on file. And then what? You see save and then you click on save. It's the same thing. Okay. All right. Then food allergy is displaying as checkbox, but we need to display it as what? It is displaying as checkbox, but we need to display it as what? Yes or no. So what you do is that just click on the food allergy yes or no. Then you see at the bottom here, we have general and then we have lookup. Click on the lookup. Click on the checkbox. Click on the arrow down and then click on the text box. Save your work and display it. So you realize that what? It is now displaying as what? As yes or no. Then, so now the question says that what? Take place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key. So make sure you are here. Don't be in the view. You can't take the screenshot here because here it is only showing the field names, but it is not showing the data types and the primary key. So make sure you are in the design view. So over here in the design view, okay, it is showing the field names. It is showing the data types. I hope you understand. So you take the screenshot of this. Take the screenshot of this. Okay. Then go to your evidence documents, and this should go to step 11. Yes. This should go to from step 1 to step 6 are for the document production. So you place this here. Okay. Then we go to our question. Then let's go to the second thing. It says import the file J2421 bookings.csv as a new table in your database. Use these field names and data types, and create, emphasis here, and create a primary key field called ID, okay? Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key, okay? I hope you understand. So we are importing this file as a new database table, and we are setting these data types to it. So let's go to this. Now, in database, once we are not using a table, just close it so it doesn't tamper with future things. So we are importing a new table. Go to external data, new source data from file, then test file. Then let's click browse to add it to our path. So we are bringing in bookings. Double click to add it to the path. Then make sure this is selected because they said we should import it as what? A new table. So make sure import the source data into a new table is selected. Then click on what? Okay. Once again, make sure it's a readable data. Okay. Otherwise, if it is symbols you are seeing, make sure to call on to your supervisor or the technician there. Click on next. Then you don't want to forget this checkbox again. First row contains field name. So check that. Then click on next. Then here we go to advanced and set the data types right. Okay. So here we set the data types right. Test, date with time, test. So over here, short test, that is true. Short test for ID, that is true. Day, short test. Start time is date with time, that is true. End time, date with time, that is true. And then session 2 is what? Short test, that is true. So click on what? Sorry. So click on OK. And then click on what? Next. Now, in the previous table when we were importing, we chose what? Our own ID, because the question says we should set our own ID, child ID as our ID. But in this particular one, it says that what? We should create a primary key field called ID, meaning that what? That primary key field is not in this, that field is not in this table we've just imported, so we have to create a new field. So in this case, we will let access add a primary key. So we'll select the first one so that access can add a primary key called what? ID. Okay. Then you go to next. Then you finish. So close. And then you have your table over here. So like I always say, sorry, this one. Like I always say, anytime you import your table, okay, make sure you go to the data types again and set everything to the right format again. So go to home. Let's go to the design view of the bookings table we just imported. So session ID is short test, child ID is short test, day is short test. Then also the start time. The start time, it says that what? The display should be what? Hours and minutes. Do you understand that? The display should be hours and minutes. So just click on your start time, the date or time, then come down to where you can see the format over here. Click on the arrow down and you see that select short time. So the short time displays what? Hours and minutes. Currently, look at how the time is showing. Currently, the time is showing as what? Hours, minutes, and seconds. They don't want to see hours, minutes, and seconds. They only want to see hours and minutes. That is why it is right for you to do these settings again. So click on the date and time, click on the format, the arrow down, and select what? Short time. Then save. Then click on the end time to click on the arrow down, and then select what? Short time. And then you save. So you realize that you see that our time now is what is display hours and and minutes. Then it says you should take a screenshot. So make sure you are in the design view because they want to see the primary key as ID. They want to see the field names and they want to see the data types. Okay. So Windows Shift S should take the screenshot of this for you. Go to your evidence. Then since this is also under question 11, see, it is under question 11, we will place this evidence in step what? Step 11. So we'll place this evidence in step what? 11 like this. So everything is going on well so far. Then let's go to the question. I hope you are following. Question 12 says, create a one-to-many relationship between the child ID fields in the child ID and bookings table. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the one-to-many relationship between the tables. So here they said you have to create a relationship between the child ID fields in bookings table and child tables. Do you understand? So in the bookings table, let me show you that. So in the bookings table, you have a field called what? The child ID field. And then in the child ID too, you have a field over here called what? The child ID field. So they want you to create a relationship between the child ID field in the child table and the child ID field in the bookings table. Okay, so let's just close these tables. Go to database tools. Go to database tools and then click on what? Relationship. Now, this over here, these add tables at your right hand side should show. Now, in the situation where it doesn't show, just right click on the space and then click on show tables. It will show for you. Double click towards to display the tables. Then put your cursor on the child ID, select it, click hold, and then drag it onto the child ID of the bookings. So make sure you are placing it on the child ID exactly, and then release the mouse button. And you have this which says that what? Create. Do you understand? Then also relationship type is what? One to many. Make sure you check that. It's very important. Then you click on what? Create. So you see this line over here like this. Do you understand? Now they want you to take a screenshot. Okay. They want you to take a screenshot showing one-to-many relationship between the tables. Over here, you will not see the one-to-many relationship. So put your cursor on the line or your pointer on the line and double click on the line to show this table. Drag this table to the bottom. So you will see relationship type is what? One-to-many. Do you understand that? So in this case, you will not take the screenshot of everything. This relationship you have created, and then the table too. So Control Shift, Windows F Shift, sorry. Then you take a screenshot of this like this. Okay. Then you go to your evidence documents and then you place this in step what? 12. Like this, nicely. Then we go back to our question. Now it says that what we are going to question 13. It says that using fields from the child and bookings tables, okay, using fields from the child and bookings tables, produce a tabular report that selects the records where day is Monday, session is morning or sunrise club. Then also the report should contain a new field called total time, which is calculated at runtime. Total time is equal to end time minus what? Start time times 24. So over here, we are going to create a report and then we are going to be adding a new field, which is total time. Total time is not in any of the two tables that we've imported. So we have to create it as a new field. And then the formula to create it or the formula to format it is what has been provided. Then they said format this field to display as a numeric value to one decimal place. So you should format this field to display as a numeric value to one decimal place. Then bullet 3 shows only the fields. Child ID, first name, last name, DOB, day, session, start time, end time, total time, and food allergy in this order with data and labels displayed in full. So they want you to display these fields in the report in this very order that has been given to you. Then do not group the data. The next bullet says sort the data into ascending descending order of session and ascending order of what? Date of birth. Then it says that what? The page should have a page orientation of landscape, okay? Then the page should fit on a single page width. Then the page should include only the title, Monday morning groups displayed in a larger font, fully visible and center aligned at the top of the page. Then also it should have your name. The report should have your name, center number and candidate number in the footer of the report so that it appears in the same position. All right. So what you should note over here is that the question is not talking about queries. Okay. But before you can create the report, you need to create the query. You need to create a query to satisfy some of the criteria here, before you proceed to generate the report based on the query. So if you look at this question, these first three bullets, okay, has to do with what? Query what? Creation. You need to create a query. The first three bullets, you would have to create a query to satisfy these criteria in the first three bullets. Then the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets would happen in the what? In the report, when we are creating the report. So the first three is for what? Is for query. The last three is for what? Is for report. Now, if the first part, which is the query, we will have to begin from the third bullet up to the what? To the first bullet in that opposite direction, like that. Okay, so let's go to our database. Let's save. Let's close this. Let's save our relationship and then close it. Now go to create, and then we are going to create a query. So go to query design and have this. Do you understand that? Also, our table should show at the right hand side. If it doesn't show, just right click and then click on show tables. As it shows like this, you double click on them to display them. Now drag it to the bottom a bit so that you can display the other fields. So the first is child ID. You understand that? Then the question is, after child ID should be first name, last name, DOB, day session. So first name, last name, DOB. Then we need to move to the next table to go and get our what is there? Oh, what is there? So DOB, day session. So we need to go to this place to add what? A day, and then what? A session. After that, start time, and then what? End time. Do you understand that? So this where we are. Then the next one says that what? Total time. It says the next one, total time before what? Food allergy. But like we know, none of our fields have what? Total time. So it's a new field we are coming to create. So just go to the next cell or space beside the end time and click inside. Do you understand? Then right click and click on what? Build. Okay, we are coming to create the total time now. Click on what? Build. Then you see my database over here. Because I save it, James data is here. Yours will also be there depending on how you save it. There's a plus sign beside it. Click it. Do you understand? Then you see tables. Click on the plus sign beside the tables. And you have your bookings and then the chart table. So over here, click on the bookings table because the fields we will need. Look at the formula. The fields we will need. The formula says end time minus what? Start time. Okay. Should be equal to what? 20 times 24. Sorry. So this end time and this start time fields are in the bookings table. That is why we are selecting the bookings table. And then the formula brought a bracket and close a bracket before doing the multiplication. So the same thing we are also going to be doing here. So first bring a bracket, then double click on your end time, then minus start time, close the brackets and multiply it by 24. Then click on what? Okay. Now click on run over here in the ribbon. And then you see nicely that it has been added. We have some figures here. But you see this ESP R1 at the top. We don't need it. So let us delete it. Do you understand? Click inside it. Make sure you are deleting only the EXPR1. Don't delete the column. If you delete the column, you have issues. So after delete the EXPR1, type total underscore time like this. And then click on run. So you see nicely that what our total time is now over there. Then the question says that what format this field to display as a numeric value to one decimal place. So over here, they want our total time to be in one decimal place. It is in one decimal place. Some of the values are showing one decimal place, some two are not showing. And we want all of them to what to show. So as you are in the, just click in your total time again, that same space, right click and then click on what? Properties. Do you understand that? Once you click on properties, you see decimal places over here. Click inside, press the arrow, click on the arrow down and select what? 1. And then the format, change the format to what? To fixed, like this. And then run your work again. And then you realize that they are all now showing what? One decimal places. Okay, so this is what they want. Then the last field we are to add, is the what? Is the field allergy. Do you understand? Sorry, food allergy. So we add a food allergy. Over here, it is added. And then everything is what? Is now here. All right, so our query is now looking in shape. Everything is going on well. Then let's go back to the question again. The question says that, so you see, we are doing it upwards. We started from this side and then we have done the total time. Now we are going to this side. It says select the records where day is Monday and session is morning or sunrise club. We do this at the criteria session. So here you come to the criteria row. This is the criteria, and then under what? Under the day over here, under the day, it says the day should be what? Monday. Currently, if we go to our table, we are seeing what? Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all that. It says you want to display only what? Monday. So we just type what? Monday inside this. And then we click on what? Run. Yeah, so you see our day has now changed to only what? Monday throughout. Do you understand that? Then it says that session should be morning or sunrise club. Currently, we have morning, we have sunrise club, and then we have the what? Twilight club. And it says that what? We should set the criteria so that session is what? Morning. Okay, so just type morning or what? Sunrise club. When you are done, when you are done typing, just click on the run. And then you realize that it has been formatted into morning, sunrise club, morning, sunrise club. You understand that? So we are done with the query. Just save your query. Query 1, click on OK to save your query. So like I said in the question, the first 3 bullets is for the query. So we are done with the query. Now we are going to the what? Reports. Okay. So now that we are done with the query, okay, just close the query table. Like I said, once you are not using a table, just close it so it doesn't give you future issues. Now go to create. Then now come to the reports group and then go to report wizard. Please make sure that the table you are selecting what? Query. Do you understand? Make sure the table you are selecting what? Query. No, it shouldn't be, because we are basing our report on the query. Okay. Now, over here, we select the fields. You see this single greater than over here. It is used to select fields one after the other. But over here, because we are basing our report on the query, and in the query, we've already selected these fields. What we do over here, we use the double greater than to move all the fields together, like this. Then we go to what? Next. Then in the question, it says that what? Do not group the data. Do not group the data. Do you understand that? And currently, if you can see, we have a first group over here up to food allergy, and we have another group over here up to total time. the question says we shouldn't group the data. So instead of generating the report by child, we generate the report by bookies. So you see the grouping is gone. Then you go to next. Then here it is asking if we want to create manual groupings. We don't want to do that. So go to next. Then over here it says sort records. Do you understand that? Now, I will not advise you to set, because if you read the question, okay, it says that sort the data into what? A descending order of session and ascending order of date of birth. Now, I will not advise you to sort your data over here. If you sort your data over here, it will rearrange the fields for you. And instead of child ID starting as the beginning field, it will rather be what? The ones you sorted here. So let me do it to prove a point to you why you shouldn't do it. So let me select the date. They said the date of birth should be what? Ascending. And then the session should be what? Descending. Do you understand? Go to next. They said what? It should be in a landscape. Next. And then what? You finish. So you see, from my report I've generated, you see date of birth and session are starting. But that is not how they said our report should be. They said what? First child ID, and then child ID should start. So, and when it happens like that, you can actually adjust it. So you can actually move the date of birth here to the beginning and order, but you don't want to go through this stress. So I'll advise you never to do your sorting over there. So I'm deleting this and I'm starting all over for the report. So go to report wizard, base this on the query, then go to move all. We don't want to group, no grouping. So here we move on. Then it said it should be a tabular report. So make sure your tabular is selected. And then the question says that has a page orientation of landscape. So has a page orientation of landscape. Then you go to next. Then you finish. So this is how your report should be looking at. Now, why are we having the hashtags? So we are having hashtags simply because the text box that has been allocated to these fields are actually smaller than the characters they are holding. Okay, so that is why we are having the hashtag, but we will adjust it and everything will be fine. So click on the close print preview. Now we are in the report design. Okay, and we need to adjust this little by little so that everything will be able to show. So first of all, you have the page header. That is the field. These are field names. Then you have the details. These are the details under each of the field. So you select the two together. Do you understand? Child ID has only about 5 characters. So the text box is too long. So you put your cursor at the side and then you reduce it. Once you reduce, go and check whether it is not showing hashtags. Once it is not showing hashtags and no part of the data is hiding or has been hidden, then you are fine. So do this for the rest of them. So this one, you select the first name, first drag it inwards, leave a small space, put your cursor at the middle here, and then reduce the length. Then you view that. So you see it has been done nicely. Then you do this for the last name, shift it inside. And then close it a little bit. And then you see it is happening nicely. Then go to the date. So you see the DOB. The DOB is too small. The text box allocated to DOB is too small. So instead of closing it, we rather open it up a little like this. All right, to make sure that everything is showing over here nicely. Then we bring our day. Let's bring the day. The text box is too long, so we close it a little. And then we view if everything is okay. Yes, everything is okay. Then we go back to do that for the session. So we drag it inside a little, and then we close the text box. So we view if nothing is hidden. All right, so nothing is hidden. Then we bring in our start time. The text box is too small, so we increase it a bit. And then we view that. All right, so it's fine. And then you do that for the end time too. So you do that for the end time too. I'm just readjusting a little. So you increase the length of this one, and then we view it. All right, so everything is fine. Then you go to the total time. You drag that one to, and then you increase it. Check. All right, so nothing is hiding. Everything is fine. Then the last but not least is the food allergy. So we bring it, then we drag it so that everything can show. We view it. So you see, our report is showing what? Nicely. Do you understand that? Our report is now showing nicely. Everything is what? Is moving on very well. Then we go back to the design view and look at the question again. So the question says that what? Sort, okay, has page orientation, fit, we've done that. So it says sort the data into descending order of session. So the session should be in descending order, which is alphabet. So it should be Z on top. Then the ascending order for date of birth. So let's do that. So over here, you go, it should be in the report design. Then in the groupings and totals group over here, click group and sort. Do you understand? Once you click group and sort, click on add sort and select what? Let's select the session. You understand? Session should be in descending order. So it means that what? From Z downwards to what? To A. So we change with A on top to what? With Z on top. And then we preview this. So you see that what? Sunrise is currently at the what? At the top, which is S, before what? The morning, which is what? M. Then we are left with the date of birth. So we add another sort again. We select date of birth, and the date of birth is an ascending. So from the old date to the newest date should be ascending. So we leave it. So we make sure we selected what? From oldest to what? To newest. And then we click on view. So over here, you see what is happening. So you see our date 2020, 2021, 2022 in that order. Do you understand? Now everything is looking perfect at the moment. Now let's go to the question. So the question says that, so we've done this. So the question says that includes only the title Monday morning groups displayed in a larger font size, fully visible and center aligned at the top of the page. So this is what you're going to do. So this is the where we have that label, where we have the title of the page. Okay. So put your cursor at the bottom corner and drag it to fill the page, the report, sorry. Drag it to fill the report. Click inside, delete what is there, and type Monday morning groups like this, okay? So once the cursor is blinking, or you can also select it like this, go to home. Then in the text formatting group, you see center align. Then you click on the center align. Do you understand that? So just like they want us to do, we have our title here as what? Monday morning groups, center aligned. Then the last thing we have to do with our question 13, it says that what? Save and print your report. Sorry. It says the report should have your name. Okay. center number, and candidate number in the footer of the report. So it appears in the same position on every page. So let's do that. So you see, we have page header, we have details, and we have the page footer. So this is the page footer column. There is already some placeholder over there. We don't need those placeholders. So click on them, hit delete on your keyboard to delete them. Do you understand? Then let's bring our own label. Okay, so in the controls group over here, make sure you are in the report design. In the control groups over here, you see this is the select. This is text box. The next one is what? Labels. The capital A, small a. That's what we want. So click on it. And then click and drag a label over here and put your details there. So my details, James Swift 04. Sorry, my center number is GH005. And then my index number is 0247. So once you are done with this, just go to view, and then at the bottom part of it, you see James Swift. My details are here. Do you understand that? My details are here. So that is the end of the report. It says save and print your report. Save and print your report. So that is what we want to do. We want to save and print our report. So we save our report and then we print. So if you want to print, you go to File, go to Print, go to Print Preview, and make sure everything is well correct over here. You are seeing no hashtags. Everything is fully visible. Do you understand that? So you need to make sure you check your print preview before you print anything. So everything is going on very well. So I just click on print. Now over here, I'll select my printer that I'll be connected to, and then I'll finally click on OK. Once I click on OK, it will print for me. Do you understand that? All right. So once we are done with this, let's close the bookings table and go back to the question. So we are going to question 14. We are going to question 14. It says, create a new field in the child table named ailment ID. Okay, ailment ID, which will be used to store data from radio buttons. Set the most, before that, there is a preamble here. It says, you are going to create a data entry form. The form will contain radio buttons for the user to select one option. Data from the selected option must be stored in a new field that you will create in the child table. So over here, they said we are going to create a new field in the child table, okay? And that field we are going to be creating will store data from a radio button. Now, what you need to understand here, and we have to set the appropriate data type. So what you need to understand over here is that data from, let me show you something. What you need to understand over here is that data from a radio button does not store the string value or the text option that has been assigned to the radio button in the database. Rather, it stores a numeric value. This is what I'm trying to say. All right, so this is what I'm trying to say. Let me select this. So let's assume we have this radio button here. Then we have another radio button here. Then we have another radio button here. And then we have another radio button here. All right. So we have these radio buttons, and then let's give them options. So this is let's say this option is Gary. Then this option over here is is Shito. Then this option over here is Stone. Then this option over here is Jollof. Now, if you select any of these options, if you select this option or you select this option or you select this option or you select this option, now it will not store inside the data table as what? As Gary or Shito or Stone. Rather, it will store a numerical value. So numerical values, so let's say that so let's say that the first one will have a numerical value of 1. The second one will have a numerical value of what? Of 2. The third one will have a numerical value of 3. And then the fourth one will have a numerical value of what? 4. So in the database table, okay, when you create a radio button and you link it to, how do you call it? And you link it to a database table. Now, in the field, it will not store the string value or the text and assign to the radio button. Rather, it will store a numerical value. Do you understand? Okay. So you should take note of that. We'll use it going forward. So the question says that what? We are going to create a data entry form. The form will contain radio buttons for the user to select an option. And data from the radio buttons will be stored in a what? In a new field that we will create. Now, let's go in the child table. So let's go to question 14. Question 14 says, insert a new field in the child table named ailment ID, which will be used to store data from radio buttons. Set the most appropriate data type. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names and data types used in the child table. Save and close the table. All right. So you should be here. It says we should do this in the child table. So open the child table. We have to add a new field to this. Now, go to the design view. Then under the contact, if you cannot see any space, just scroll down. You see a lot of spaces. Under the contact, click inside and type ailment underscore ID. Now, because this ailment field is going to be storing data from a radio button, and the radio button will not store text, but will rather store numerical values, then it is appropriate that the data type should be what? A number. Do you understand that? And not just any number, but it should be a short integer. So come to the bottom and change the long integer to what? To just integer. Okay. Once you are done, save your work. And they say take a screenshot, though. They want to see if you have added ailment ID and then the appropriate what? Data type. So you take a screenshot of this. And then you go to your evidence and you drop this in step what? 14. Like this. Then we move on. Then it says that question 15. Question 15 says, create a columnar data entry form using selected fields from the child table. That includes only the fields last name, first name, child ID, gender, DOB, registration date, and food allergy. Display one record at a time. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing your form with a record from the database. So they want us to create a columnar data entry form using the fields that have been given to us. And we are basing this on the child table. So let's go to this. Let's close our child table so we don't have issues later. Go to create, then come to the forms group over here. Go to form wizard. Okay. Make sure you are basing this on the child table like mine. Now, we will not use the double greater than because we are going to select some fields. We are not using all. So we are using fields, last name, first name, child ID, gender, DOB, registration date, and food allergy. These are the fields we've been required to use. Then click on next. It says it should be a columnar data entry form. So we leave it in columnar. Click on next. Then go to finish. So this is our form. Do you understand that? And if you look at, it says the evidence, place in your evidence document a screenshot showing your form with a record from the database display. So you realize that this is our form we just created, and Mazure Ruby is a record from the child table. showing in our, how do you call it? Showing in our form. So we need to take the screenshot of this. So you take the screenshot of this, then you go to step 15, and then you put this there in step 15. All right. Now let's go to our question. Let's go to step 16. We are almost done with this. 2 more to go, then we are done. It says, in the form created in step 15, over here, okay, create 5 grouped radio buttons. The user must be able to select what? One of the following options, which is what? Asthma, diabetes, eczema, epilepsy, or none. The option selected must be stored and displayed in the ailment ID field of the chart. So it means that when we select any of these options, eczema or diabetes, it should be stored in the what? In the ailment ID field in the chart table. Now they said we should label this group as what? This option group as ailments. And we should make sure that the radio buttons are grouped as one option group with the label ailments. The option selected is stored in the ailment ID field of the chart table. That's true. All labels in the form are aligned to the left consistently and do not overlap data in the form. Then we should place in our evidence document screenshots showing the radio buttons grouped as one option group with the ailment ID. That's fine. Then evidence of our method linking the group to the ailment ID. So let's go and do this. So over here, this is our form. You understand? We need to go to let's go to the form design. We should be here. Now, we need to add a radio button to this form. But if you look at the last name, first name, child ID, and gender, their text boxes are too long. We don't have a space. So just click, hold, and drag a box around to select the 4 text boxes. And then put your cursor at the middle part over here. Click, hold, and drag it a little inside like this. So you have something like this. So we have a space over here to add our radio button. So we have a space here. Now, to add your radio button, go to the controls group. Make sure you are in the form design. Go to the control group. You see this arrow down beside it. Just click on it. Now, after clicking on it, make sure you select this option, use control wizard. For you to know that it is selected, it must have a box around it. If it is having a box around it, it means you have selected it. Otherwise, click on it to select it, okay? Once you select it, come back again to this same place and then locate the option group. The option group is the button or the feature with the XYZ at the top. So just click on it and then come to your form, click, hold, and drag. If you don't select the control, use the control wizard that I told you to select, this space or this box will not pop up for you. Now, once this pop up, it says label what? Names. What label do you want for each option? So the labels, the first one we have what? We have asthma, okay? So we just type asthma. The next one is diabetes. The next one is eczema. The next one is epilepsy. And then the last one is what? Is none. So just as it has been shown over here, that is exactly what we are typing. Okay. Then you go to what? Next. So it says, do you want one option to be default? You can decide to say yes. You want to make none the default, so that when the person is filling the form, none should be selected as default, so that if the person actually has an ailment, then they can select their ailment. But in this situation, the question didn't say anything as to what we should do with this. So I would rather go for no, I don't want a default. Then I click on next. So you see the values that has been assigned. You can also change the values, but we'll move on with the automatic value. That is why I told you that the data, the values that will be stored from the radio buttons mostly are values. They are numbers. Okay. So let's go to next. Then save the value for later use. Then also store the value in this field. So this is where we will link it to what? To the ailment ID, so that when we click, it will go to the ailment ID, or when we select, it will be stored in the ailment ID field. So you click the second one, store the value in this field, and change the last name to what? To ailment ID, because that is where we want to store the data from the what? From the radio button. Then click on what? Next. Then over here, it has already selected the option group for us. That is what we want. So click on next. Then it says, what caption do you want for this group? From the question, it says that what? It says label this option group as what? Ailment. So the caption for this group, we don't want frame 15. We want to make it what? Ailment. You understand? And when you are done, click on finish. Then you see nicely, let me go to the, so you see that our ailment is showing nicely. But from the question 2, they said that what? All labels in the form are aligned to the left consistently. So what they are basically saying is that this label, which is ailment, should be aligned to the left, just as you have last name at the left, first name at the left. They want ailment to be at the left side. So in the form design, you see we have some black spots. If you, this yellow borderline, if you click on this yellow borderline and you hold and drag, it will move everything for you. Do you understand? But if you want to move an option alone, in this case, ailment alone, then you put it on the black dot, the black box of the ailment. Click, hold, and let's select it again. Click, hold, and drag it, and then you'll be moving the ailment alone. So you have something like this. Do you understand that? Now everything is looking perfectly well. So the question, now let's go back to the question. Let's go back to the question. So we've done all of that. Now we've made sure that all of this, it doesn't overlap. Now it says place in your evidence document screenshot showing the radio buttons grouped as one option group with the ailment. So they want to see that you've created the radio buttons and the ailment is there. The ailment label is there. Then evidence of your method linking this to the ailment ID field. So they want to see if you have linked this to the ailment ID field. So first, click on the whole thing. Click on it to select the whole thing. Then as your cursor is on the yellow strip, with that, move to cursor, right click, okay, and then go to the bottom, that is properties. Do you understand that? Now in the properties, you should see if yours is selected as format, click on data. Then you see control source. Control source is what? Ailment what? ID. So this shows that truly we have linked it to what? Ailment ID. So you take a screenshot of the radio buttons together with what? This ailment ID over here, then we are fine. So control this, then make sure it covers this nicely. Then you go to your evidence, and then that should be step what? 16. Put this here and you are fine. Okay. Then let's come back to this again. Now it says that question 17, it says use the form modified in step 16 to add the following data as a new record. So now, as we have modified the form, we created radio buttons, they are giving us what? Data to enter. They are giving us a new record that we should enter. And when we enter, it should go into the chart table. Do you understand that? Now check your data entry for errors, save the data, then place in your evidence document a screenshot of the form with a new record displayed in full. So let's go and then do that. So over here, you need to go back to the form view to be able to add that. So they want us to add, just like Ruby is here, they want us to add the data, the record they've given us, and we should save it in the chart table. Before we do that, let me show you something. Let me go to the magnifier. Oh, where is my magnifier? Guys, hold on. I want to get into the status bar, so I'm trying to get a magnifier. So this is the magnifier over here. Now, when you come down to the status bar over here, I want to show you some things over here in the status bar. So the status bar, you see this very first bar, it says first record. If you click on it, it should give you the first record in your database table, the first record in your database table. And this actually, Ruby is actually the first record. So that is why it's still there. Then when you come to this one, it says what? Previous record. That is if you have moved to the next record, and this will be highlighted. Now, this one is the next record. So as I click on it, you see I get a next record. Ismail what? Selim. If I click on it again, then I'm going to have the next person, router for Daisy. Now I can, the previous is highlighted. So I can now go back to previous to this guy. Then the next one is what? Last record. So if I click on it, it should take me to the last name or the last record in my database table, which is what? Cameron. Do you understand? Then the next one is what? Blank or new record, new or blank record. This is what I want you to note over here, because they said they've given us a record to enter. Now, before we can enter this record, we need to what? We need to show a blank or new record. So I wanted you to know this. So you click on this and then what? It gives you a blank or new record for data entry. Do you understand that? So now let's enter the data. So last name is Lambert. First name is what? Jakara. Let's go add that. So last name is what? Lambert. Sorry. And then last name is what? Jakara. Then child ID is 3YR27. So 3YR27. Then gender is, so she's female. Then date of birth. Her date of birth is what? 4th December 2022. So you can click on the calendar over here. Go to December 2022. Go to December. All right. So December 2022. And she's what? 4th. So we select 4th. So over here. Then the registration date, 18th October 2023. So here I will not go to the calendar. I can just type. So 18th October 2023. Then food allergy. They said yes, she's having a food allergy. So we change the no over here to what? To yes. Okay. Then ailment is what? Eczema. She has what? Eczema. So we select what? Eczema. Now, how do we push this into the database, or how do we enter this into the database? So go to your status bar again, and then you see the button I showed you, the new or blank record button that I show you. Click on it. Once you click on it, the data has been pushed into, or has been entered, or has been saved or stored into the child database. And if you read our question, they said they want a screenshot. They say you should place a screenshot with the evidence of the form with the new record displayed in full. So they want to see the record we just entered. Do you understand that? So in order to see that, come to your status bar again and click on the what? Previous, to show the record we just what? Entered, and take a screenshot of this. So you take a screenshot of this one like this. So you take a screenshot of this one, and then you go to your evidence, and then you put it as step what? 17 like this. Step 17 like this, and then you are fine. Okay, we are left with the last thing to do. Okay, so let's go to the last thing. Then question 18 says, open the child table. Use an automated selection method to locate the new record you entered in step 17 with the child ID 3YR27. Place in your evidence document screenshots showing the use of an automated selection method to find the record. The new record stored in the data in the chart table with all 11 records displayed in full. So they want us to what? To go and look for the record we just entered inside the chart table. Okay. So let's do that. Now let's save and close the form and open the chart table as instructed. Now they want us to look for Jakara. in this table. Do you understand that? But they don't want us to use manual means to look for Jakara. So they want us to use an automated means. And they want us to use what? Her child ID to look for her. So first of all, put your cursor on top of the child ID field. As it turns into an arrow down, click to select the whole of that field. Then come to the sort and filter group and click on what? Filter. Then you go to test filters. Then you go to equals. Then you type her ID 3YR27. Then you click on what? Okay. So you see here, you see that the database, as we have entered, the details have been stored in our database what? Table. Do you understand that? With her details what? Showing. Now they want you to take a screenshot of this, but not only this, they want to see the automated process that you use. So go back to what? Filter again, and then go to test filters, and then click on what? Equals. So you see that her details is here. So you position this, and then you take a screenshot of the whole page. Do you understand? So that they can see the automated field, automated selection you have used, and also her details display. So Windows Shift S to display this. Do you understand? Like this. Then you go to your evidence and then place this over here. So that brings us to the end of the database. The next video I'll be doing for you will be on presentation. Do well to subscribe to my YouTube page and always follow me for giving you solutions, well-detailed solutions and explanations like this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.